Adam here with PigOut Roasters again. Today we're going to be doing a little cooking on the ultimate charcoal rotisserie. Today the plan is to do 3 chickens on the rotisserie, and then we're also going to show you how to set up your firebox, get some charcoal fire going, and then of course the cooking, and then we'll try it out at the end to see how it goes. So without further ado, I know that I'm getting pretty hungry here. I know that your eyes are looking a little bit hungry, so let's get at it. Alright guys, so before we go out and actually get our charcoal fired up, I thought we'd just go over a couple things that are going to make life a little bit easier for you. So first off, you're going to want to get some good charcoal. I like to go with the hardwood lump charcoal. It just adds a little bit more of the smoke flavor. Today we're running with a sugar maple. That said though, a lot of people like to use some more lighter smoke woods, could be a cherry, different flavors like that. Totally up to you, whatever you find works best for you, grab it. You can even throw the actual blocks of wood onto your fire as well to get some more smoke going. And let me know what you guys think is best for roasting your chickens. Another thing that's really useful is going to be a charcoal chimney like this. You can usually pick these up at any of your, barbecue fireplace center, Home Depot, Canadian Tire, really anywhere that sells barbecues. This is just gonna really speed up lighting your charcoal, make life a lot easier for you. This is just a little propane torch here. There are some other fire starters out there, but I like to stay away from things that aren't very natural. This is just some twine, some straw, and some natural beeswax. So again, you can find this at pretty much any barbecue center. So without further ado, why don't we go out and actually get this fire going.
All right guys, so here we are in the great outdoors. We got some wind coming through today, we got some traffic over here. That said, let's get these coals going. So what we're gonna do to start things off, let's just lay out a nice little bed of charcoals down here. Now, you might wanna wear some gloves. I'm out here, I don't have any with me, so I'm just gonna get into it. But because we're gonna be cooking chickens, and they're all gonna be lined up pretty center in here, I'm gonna want my bed of charcoal to essentially be pretty evenly distributed through here. If you're gonna be roasting something like a pig or a lamb, maybe some bigger turkeys, if you're doing something like that, sometimes it's a smart idea to actually make 2 different beds of charcoal, especially for when you're doing something like a pig, where basically the ham end or the hip end of the pig down here, it's a bit thicker, so you want to have a larger heat source there. And then same goes for the shoulders here, and then just have some coals, heated coals distributed throughout. Another thing that you might want to consider, it's a windy day like today, we do have some wind guards for your charcoal firebox. You'll probably see us bring them out a little bit later on, but why don't we start things off by actually starting up some coals in your charcoal chimney. All right, so off screen, what I did was I just filled up my charcoal chimney here with a bunch more coals here. Now the next step, I'm gonna take some of these fire starters. It's pretty windy out here, so I think I'm gonna go with 4 of them to start off. Just gonna throw them down on the charcoal firebox here. I'm gonna take my torch, just gonna get these lit. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw my chimney on top, and I'm just gonna leave this. This is gonna take about 15 to 20 minutes for all the charcoal in here to get fully lit. And during that time, it's a perfect opportunity for us to go back inside. We'll get our chickens on the pole, we'll get them nice and spiced up, then we'll come out and start cooking. When you pour your ready hot coals over top of these cold ones, they'll light and ignite throughout the cook, so it'll actually extend the cook time. That means you're not out here, every 30 minutes trying to stoke your fire and keep it going. It'll just naturally burn through, and your cook's gonna be good to go.
Okay, so gloves are on, chickens are out of the packaging. The first step of what we're gonna do is we're gonna take one of your 4-prong clamps here, and we're gonna slide it onto the spit bowl. So now, if you remember before, I was saying we wanted to keep them almost centered over the bed of coals. So I'm gonna set one of these poles in right about here, which is about 1/3 of the way in. So just gonna take my red handle tool and screw that into place here. Okay, so to put on the first chicken, what we're gonna do is we're basically gonna open up this cavity here, slide it right in through where the neck would be. Now, I've actually gotten pretty lucky with these chickens that I got. The legs are tied off, as well as the wings here. If yours don't come this way, what you might wanna do is either spatchcock the end of the legs here, or just get some butcher's twine to tie them up, because this is gonna keep everything nice and tight to the pole. It's gonna take this and slide it in through the chicken, and it's gonna come through the neck cavity here. And we're gonna slide it right over top of the bird, just like that. Now, for For the next bird, what we're gonna do is take another one of these 4-prong clamps and nestle it right up between, or right up against it, just like that. So what this is gonna do is gonna stop the chicken from moving forward or backwards. It's just gonna keep it nice and tight in that position there. Okay, so we got the 3 birds on. For this cook today, we're using 3 of the 4-prong clamps here. And then just to finish it off, to make sure this last bird doesn't move forward, I'm just gonna take one last 4-prong here to close it off here. But an alternative option would be to use one of your spine clamps and then just attach that here, basically just acting as a stopper. But for now, I have this extra 4-prong clamp, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it. Okay, so we've got our 3 birds on the pole here. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in and season them. So to start things off, I've just got a little salt and pepper blend here. Season to your own personal preference. Make sure you get all around. Okay, so I've salt and peppered all the chickens here. Now to make things a little bit interesting, I thought we're doing 3 birds, so why don't we final season a little bit different for each of them. So I've got a Italian Delight, kind of just a classic Italian seasoning for one chicken. And then for another one, I've got a taco and fajita chicken, or flavor. And then for the final one, I'm going with a lemon pepper. And then as far as spices go, the only thing that I would suggest would be to avoid a spice that has a high sugar count, or add that type of spice in at the end of your cook, so there's less time of it cooking over the heat source. And let's start cooking these chickens. Okay, so we're back outside, we're back at the pit. Let's check in on our charcoals here. So as I mentioned before, if you keep it going in your charcoal chimney, they're gonna get nice and red hot, ready to go when you're done finishing up your chickens, getting them spiced up. So the next thing that we're gonna do here is just we're gonna pour them over our bed of coals and try to distribute them evenly so we can make sure our chickens cook at the same time. First thing I'm gonna do is just slot your hex end into the motor, the drive shaft here. And then on this end here, you just wanna drop it into this insert. Rotisserie has taken all the weight for you. Come over to this side. Turn on the motor. We've got the rotisserie set to the lowest setting. Now this is mainly due to us being outside today. It's a pretty windy day. So one thing I might do in a little bit here, just to cut down on some of that wind, is actually get out our wind guards. So there are 2 metal sheet pieces that'll attach to each end. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna stop the wind coming through, but also redirect the heat back up to your roast. A couple new wind guards that I'm gonna set up onto one of our older used charcoal pans here. So what happens is I'm just gonna slot this onto the side. All right guys, so we've been cooking for about 30 minutes out here, and I think this is a pretty good opportunity to go back and talk about that sugar content and the spices that you use. So let's get a closer look here. So if you remember, we were running with 3 different spices. One was an Italiano blend, one was a taco seasoning, taco fajita blend, and then the third was a lemon pepper. Now, if you remember before, I mentioned that you want to try to avoid things that are very high in sugar content. And what you can see here in the caramelization is exactly what I was talking about. So one here, the Italiano, hardly has any sugar in it at all. Taco seasoning has the most sugar, and then finally the lemon pepper here on the end. Now, I've got a couple options here of what I can do. One, I can either raise up my rotisserie itself, just bring it up to another level, or I can redistribute the coals underneath just to align the heat source more to each end and trying to take a little bit of heat off the sugar-bearing chicken in the middle. So I think what I'm gonna do is the latter and just move around my charcoals a little bit. All right guys, so off screen, we just temp these bad boys, sitting around 165, 175. So that sounds good to me. We're gonna take these off and enjoy them. We're gonna let them sit for probably about 10 minutes. Temperature is gonna come up 5 to 10 degrees and they're gonna be perfect. That said though, I think that's it. We're gonna call that a wrap for the video today. Leave us a comment down below. What should we cook next? What are you interested in seeing? We've got plenty of other videos on our page. Video of how to set these up, how to unbox them, everything like that.
But otherwise, hope you enjoyed the video and we'll catch you on the next one.